Hi, it's me, Misterplumber. Today we're going to be replacing a gas heating boiler that is naturally vented up a chimney. Look at this beast. Look at the burn marks right here. All the corrosion. And look at this. This is the water supply coming in. The water supply comes in, goes into the auto feeder first, and then the backflow preventer. Those are backwards. The backflow preventer is supposed to come first, then the auto feeder. So whoever put this in obviously didn't know what the hell he was doing, but we're going to change all that. Look at all this charring and rusting. Just years of abuse, and you can see we're getting some kind of flame rollout because everything here is charred. In addition to that, there's no safety switch or no spill switch so that when the flame does roll out, it kicks the flame out. So this boiler is an accident waiting to happen. This would definitely win an ugly boiler contest. But I've seen worse. The first thing we want to do for safety reasons is kill the power, so we can just come in and demo this whole thing. This boiler is a fairly light boiler, so it's just a one-man project. If there was somebody here, I don't know where he would be because there's nowhere to put him. It's a tight space. So our electrical is disconnected, and I'm going to take this electrical a step further and cap both these lines, and I'm going to kill the power at the circuit breaker. Electricity is very dangerous, so you have to take extra precautions to make sure that nobody gets zapped or you zap yourself during the installation. So this should only be done by a qualified individual. I have years of control training, so I'm certainly qualified. We're also going to disconnect the gas pipe right here from this. We'll shut off this gas cock and disconnect the gas train from the boiler. And we're going to plug the gas line after it's disconnected, because even though it's off, you never want to leave a valved off gas pipe without having a plug in it. Sometimes they leak a little bit, and sometimes somebody might just be playing around and turn it on. So you never ever leave a gas cock without a plug in it. After that, so as you can see, I shut the gas cock off, and this union here I've loosened. And how did I loosen it? My fans should know. 2 wrenches, always 2 wrenches. So I had already used 2 wrenches to loosen this up, and I'm just going to spin it off. And you also want to make sure how everything is hung, so you don't just go taking things apart. There's a hanger, you probably can't see it, but there's a hanger right over there, so that should hold all of this when I disconnect it. And there it is, see, it's just kind of hanging there. So we're going to be careful with that, and I'm going to back all this off, and I'm going to actually plug this end for safety reasons. And we're going to pump down this boiler. I've shut the feed off already, which is up here. I'm going to replace that valve. And we're going to pump it out, and we're going to vent it so that the air, to displace the water, the air has to come into the system. Now while that's pumping, I'm going to take apart the flue and all the other piping and get this thing stripped down. I have my handy-dandy pump right here connected to the drain on the boiler, and when I plug it in, it's going to pump it all out. This is an essential on any job. You've got to have a old beat-up radio. This radio actually charges the cordless batteries, and this is my antenna for it. The thing's been dropped, taken apart, beaten on, fallen out of the truck, run over, but you know what? It still works. And I won't buy another one until this one dies. If you guys notice, there is no air elimination device on this boiler whatsoever. So I got this thing pumping, and the way I vented it is I shut the return valve off and open this drawer off after it had some negative pressure on it. So I created the negative pressure first, shut this off, then open this up, and now it's actually sucking air. You can hear it gargling, sucking air, and it's all coming down this supply rather. And once it gets low enough, I'll vent it even more. I'll open up this relief valve. It's taken me twice as long to do while I'm videotaping it, but it's fun to videotape it. So I got to put down the camera, and I'm going to take the rest of this apart. All right, so we got the boiler totally disconnected. Gas is totally disconnected. This gas is plugged. The return is taken off of the boiler. The electrical is totally disconnected, and both wires are capped with wire caps, and the switch is in the off position, and it's disconnected at the breaker. So we have multiple layering of safety. This here is the supply. It's disconnected. Flue's disconnected. Supply is disconnected. This boiler is ready to come out. So it's a tight squeeze, so I got to squeeze in between this boiler right here and this old chimney, and I may have to take some of this paraphernalia off the end here to actually make it. I'm going to measure it first to see if it'll come out. So we take this to the junkyard, and because it's cast iron, I'll get a few bucks for it. Probably get $10 for it, if that. And the next step is to clean up a little bit, sweep the debris, and bring in the new one and fit it up. So here we are. We get the old boiler out, and this is the new boiler, ready to be assembled. We're going to raise this up on blocks, and then we're going to fit it up. So we've got the gas pipe connected. This is our gas shut-off, and this is a union. It's used as a disconnect, but also as a means of actually connecting it, because without a union, there'd be no way to connect it once it's fitted up, because you have two threads facing each other that are spinning backwards towards each other. So that's why we need that. And this here is a drip cap for sediment, and years ago it used to be for condensate, but we really don't get much condensate anymore, and that goes right into the gas valve. We have our tridicator gauge right here, measures temperature and pressure, and right there is our new backflow preventer combo auto feed, and there's our air scoop with the expansion tank and the air vent. Pretty standard, and a ball valve. So here we go, our flue piping is all connected. As you can see, it goes right into the chimney. Here's our water supply that's all soldered. We have our vent for the backflow preventer, and all the heating supply work is all soldered. Nice and neatly, no drips. And same for the return. Here's the return piping, all soldered, and the system is filled and pressurized. And all that's left is wiring and startup. Hear that thing running? Purring like a kitten. 100% done. This is a service switch to shut it down. Now the only thing left is to have it inspected by the local inspector.